Hello there, my name's Tracy Elsom and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in Canada. Thank you for joining me at my Papercraft with Me YouTube channel. Today I want to show you how to make a very quick table favour. It's a triangular shaped box, very simple to make. This one has a couple of mousy chocolates inside, but I'm going to make a slightly smaller one and it's going to hold little Hershey nuggets. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about exactly how this box needs to look. If you think about it, we have three sides to a triangle, and then you need a flap. And then to actually close it up, what I want is I'm going to put a little piece on the side, and it's going to be pushed in. If you want to, you can score some additional lines like that. I'm not going to, I'm going to do it with my fingers, so that's fine. And then we need to be able to attach this piece, these side pieces, to the top and bottom of the box, or to the sides of the box rather. So we're going to need another tab there, and there, there, and there. But what we'll do is we'll cut up and we'll notch out a little bit, just so that it looks neat and tidy when we're finished. So that's a very rough shape of the box, extremely rough shape of the box. And I will make a neater drawing and put it onto my blog later. Now, for my purposes, I want to use the Hershey nuggets, and they're a little bit chunky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each of these pieces 1.5 inches. That's going to be my flap. And for the length, I've decided that if I put them in like this, I'm going to need, that's 2 inches. I think I want at least 1 inch because of the way it's going to push in. I'm going to give myself, let's say 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches? No, that's probably too much. Let's say 2.5 inches. And then these will have to be 1.5 to fit. So my box needs to be 3, 4, 5.5 by 6. And that should fit 2 Hershey nuggets. So you see, these are how the nuggets are going to go in, and I'm going to give it a little bit of extra room for them to push up. So it'll all make sense once I start cutting, but I will put that diagram on my blog once I finish so that you can see that. So let's start with a piece of card. In fact, let's start with the card. This is a piece of very vanilla card. It's cut to 5.5 by 6.5, and I have used this image from Friendship's Sweetest Thoughts stamp set. It's a really pretty stamp set, and I thought I'd quickly show you how I coloured it. So I have a Calypso Coral ink pad here. I've already stamped the images all over with Old Olive, and I'm just squeezing, if you can see that, just squeezing, pressing on the top of the closed ink pad, and what that does is that leaves a little bit of the ink inside the lid of the ink pad. And I have a blender pen, and a lot of people find these a little bit difficult to use, so all I'm doing is rubbing the pen tip on the ink, picking up some ink, and then colouring the flower. And it really is as simple as that. And then I can come in afterwards, I can add a little more just to the inside of the flowers to finish them off. And then to clean your blender pen, you literally just rub the nib, roll it round, get all the colour, and then once it's no longer showing any colour, that's clean. It looks stained, but you can reuse it. As you can see, there's no more of that Calypso coral colour coming off. So that's ready to put the cap back on. Blender pens are great. They come in packs of 3 and you get 2 nibs, so you've effectively got 6 pens there. Okay, so there's my piece of card. And now with the 5.5 inch piece at the top, I am going to, so this is this piece, I'm going to score it at 1.5 inches. And I'm going to score it at 4 inches. Turn it to the 6 inches at the top, and I'm going to do that every 1.5. So that's 1.5, 3, and 4.5. So I don't know if you can actually see those score lines. Okay, so here is my diagram. So this is the way it should go. So this is 5.5. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight up 2 squares. I'm going to cut that one off. And this one I'm going to notch. So this will become the flap of our box. And here again, straight up that scored line to the second scored line. Cut that first square off. And notch that one in. Like that. Okay, turn it around. And this time we're just going to cut up one of the squares. Notch it in, and this final one. There we go. Okay, so there is our box. We have flaps here. This is going to be the section we're going to push in. As I say, you could mark that halfway and do a little V there with a score stylus, but I'm not going to bother with that. This is going to be my flap. So to put it together is really simple. We'll fold those over. I'll bring my bone folder in. And we'll do the same to these ones. Flap, and then do the same that way. 2. So there's the box, and it really is simple. It goes together like that. Now, because this is a small, not very wide box, you can see we've got these flaps overlapping slightly. So what I want to do is just trim a little bit off those, just so that they don't overlap on the side of the box. You could measure it, make it exactly half, but to be honest, I don't think anybody's going to worry. So there we are. So that's what we need. Okay, so I'm going to bring some tear and tape in now, and I'm just going to very quickly put a little bit of tear and tape on each of these flaps. That. Take the backing off, she says. just tuck that flap in and make the crease, so the crease here meets that cut edge there. So again, that fold there, that crease is going to meet that cut edge. And do the ones at the back. I like to do the ones at the back last because they're easier to do. So I'm literally going to push those in, and then I can bring up that back edge and get them all done. So there's my little box. Now it just looks like a standard box with nothing to tuck in. So all I will do is push with my fingers in the centre there and just give it a little squeeze, and there is your triangular box. As you can see, it automatically creates this nice shape on the side, but you can make it sharper with pre-scored lines if you want. So all that's left is to bring in my little Hershey nuggets, and all I have done with that is cut a 1 inch by 3 inch strip of card and stamp the little bird here from the Friendship's Sweetest Thoughts. That fits inside the box like that, and that closes up. Now, there's a couple of ways you can close that. You can use a piece of ribbon like I've done there, but what I'm going to do for this one is I'm just going to get a mini glue dot and stick that on. Like that, and that will hold the box closed. Now, for my purposes, I'm looking at boxes for wedding favours. So what I can do is then add a name, and that becomes a table favour. So again, by not putting a ribbon on that, I can instead put a name. So there we are. So there's my little table favour. This particular image comes from the Number of Years stamp set. It's this one here, and my handwriting is atrocious, so I actually printed that name onto some very vanilla card and then stamped the border over the top. It's easy to do because it's a photopolymer stamp, and then I cut it out using the coordinating large number framelits, and that's this one here, and it literally just sits over the top and cuts out. So there we go. There's my little table favours. A longer one for Mercy chocolates, or possibly 3 Hershey nuggets tied up with a little bow, or a small one done with some hand stamped card closed with a mini glue dot, so that that could become a table favour. So I hope that's been useful, and if you have any questions, just ask and I'll be happy to help. Meanwhile, if you'd like all the information, the diagram that I drew and information about the products that I used, you'll find that over on my blog, and that's at tracyelsom.stampinup.net. You'll also be able to buy all the Stampin' Up! Products that I used. I'll put the links in the description below and on my blog as well. So I hope to see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.